Hello everyone, this is Raven's Map. Welcome for the summary for the day of 7 May 2023. So we have a lot of geolocations for today. But first of all, I'm going to talk about what happened recently in every direction, in every front lines. So for the Svatovo-Kreminaya front line, so this front line, basically what happened is that you have fighting starting in this area. It was a long time that we didn't have any informations or not even videos, but it seems like it's been few days that we have a lot of videos coming from here and even map changes, advances from the Ukrainians. So I believe the Ukrainians are doing an offensive right now in this area. And at the same moment, there is absolutely nothing happening in this front line, so the Svatove front line, and in the Chervonopopovka front line, there is nothing. I found nothing either. So yeah, it seems that the Ukrainians redirected their forces in this area. So yeah, very interesting. And wait, you know what? It will be like this. So just for the Sivers and Bakhmut front line, we have some interesting things. We have Belogorovka. There has been some shelling, some heavy shelling, and especially bombing. And apparently there has been a lot of assaults from the Chechen battalion, the Chechen forces. And same in Spirne. We have a lot of geolocations, and especially a lot of shellings. And what's interesting is that, as you can see, there is Spirne, but it's not inside of Spirne, which confirms that there has been the Ukrainians went out of this town, and they just right now they are holding the positions, but around Spirne. And for north of Bakhmut, we have interesting geolocations in Sako Ivanseti. It's been a while we did not hear anything about this town, and the Ukrainians launched an assault to take Sako Ivanseti and managed to take some fortifications right next to Sako Ivanseti. So coming onto the Bakhmut front line, we have some not a lot of news, honestly, but it's more like political information. So as you maybe have seen, the head of Wagner, Yevgeny Prigozhin, said that there is still a problem with the supplies of ammunition to Wagner, and he complained that Wagner isn't receiving enough ammunition, and that he tried to contact and do everything to convince the Russian army, to give him munitions, but the Russian army, so the general Sergei Shoigu and Valery Gerasimov, did not reply to his request. So he made a video that you perhaps have seen, where he was very angry and directly insulted Valery Gerasimov and Sergei Shoigu, asking for ammunition and showing them the results of this lack of ammunition. And he stated that if there is nothing done about the ammunition problem, he will leave Bakhmut on the 10th of May. And today, yes, we had the information that the ammunition problem has been solved, and that the Russian military is going to send the general Surovikin, I think, Surovikin, the general Surovikin, so the one that was in charge with the new with the retreat from Kherson, but also from he's responsible for all the usage of drones and things like that. And he sent him as the intermediate between Wagner and the Russian army. And Prigozhin said that the ammunition supply problem is now solved, and that also the Ahmad forces, so the Kadyrov army, is going to be there with the Wagner troops to finish capturing Bakhmut. So it seems, yeah, that the problem was solved pretty quickly, which is, I mean, positive for the Russians because it was, yeah, a lot of people were saying that it's perhaps just diversion or that they're acting or things like that. But honestly, no, it doesn't. No, it's really the kind of problems that happen in countries where there is a lot of corruption and a lot of infightings because problem started from the fact that Wagner is private and the Russian military asked Prigozhin to give to integrate Wagner into the Russian military, but Prigozhin didn't want to integrate Wagner because he understood that if he accepted to link Wagner with the Russian military officially, it would mean that the Russian military could, like the generals, could just push Wagner outside of his own military and just take power. Like he didn't want to. He understood that generals were trying to steal Wagner from him, and when refusing, that's when the problem started with the ammunition. But well, we'll see if it's now solved for real because last time they said it's solved and there was still the problem reappearing again a few weeks later. So we'll see if this agreement will hold. So coming on to the Avdiivka frontline, so the South Donetsk frontline, we have pretty much no advances happening right now. There has been an information about fighting toward New York here, this town, New York, but I did not see any official videos or anything, any advances. There was no real advances here too, and it's just the same kind of things like attacks on Tonenke, on Steverne, and on I think this town is called Stepove. I don't remember. But anyway, there's still a lot of fightings in this area, but not a lot of advances. On Nevelskoye, we have some geolocations, and there was a single attack since last video, so on the 3 May, but there is no more attacks since that time, just the usual shelling and things like that. And now coming on to the South Donetsk frontline, we have geolocation in Marinka, so there is heavy fighting, and there is also heavy bombing and shelling with the thermobaric ammunition, TOS1, and we have interesting geolocation of also usage of thermobaric bomb on Novomikhailovka, and I will show you the video. It was truly well, it's the first time I found a geolocation of Mikhailovka. So yeah, it seems like anyway, it seems like that the Russians are using a lot of TOS1, so a lot of thermobaric bombs to shell these areas. Coming on to the eastern, Vuhledar frontline or eastern Zaporozhye frontline, we have some interesting information. So we still have this push from the Ukrainians in this area next to Pavlovka and also Shevchenko. And it seems that they found like a way to penetrate even more defense line, Russians' defense line here, because it seems that this place is very weak and that assault frontally against this town is not effective. So they redirected their forces in this area. And for the Russian parts, I did not see any advances, but apparently there is still heavy fighting and heavy shelling in this area. And we have geolocation in Shakhtarskoye. onto the Velika Novoselica front line, we have absolutely nothing happening, or at least I did not see anything. And on the Novoandriivka, like in the rest of Zaporozhye front line, in fact, we have still some occasional fighting, but it's still a lot of shelling, bombing, and yeah, really feels like there is a lot of weaponry coming to this front line, and that the counteroffensive is really soon to happen. And there has been like videos coming from this area of uh, columns of Ukrainian vehicles and things like that are moving in this area. So we can expect some kind of counteroffensive pretty soon. But I'm still surprised that they did not do anything right now. Yeah, I'm surprised because they said that they were ready. Everything was complete. Every preparations is complete, and the weather is currently good. So yeah, it's weird. I'm wondering what are they waiting right now to make an offensive? And we have interesting information here in Odessa. This one I will show you, because it's not a geolocation, but as you can see, we have tanks here. Those are Leopards tanks. And the question is, what are they doing in Odessa? Because, as you know, a tank is heavy, and Ukraine right now has lost almost all of its boats in the Dnieper. They really lost almost everything, so there is no reason for them to put tanks here. And if they just wanted to perhaps like avoid being shelled or avoid attacks, then why here and why not in Pavlograd, for example, Poltava, or anything like this that is close enough, Dnieper, for example? Because you understand very well that here they will do an assault, but here I really doubt that they can make tanks cross really quickly for an offensive in this area. And even if they just wanted to, they had some sort of way to make the tank cross to do an assault of the Kherson region. I don't understand why in Odessa, and why not hiding the tanks in Krivoy Rog, for example. Yeah, it doesn't make sense. So it looks like that it confirms some information I've saw lately, that the Ukrainians are gathering some troops in this area. So perhaps the tanks in Odessa are actually to prepare for an invasion of Transnistria, Dnistrove. So yeah, uh, we'll wait to see if there is any further information. But it's true that this area is a lot less understood because there is not a lot of Russian like the Russians are a bit too far. They are too far to have any information coming from this area. So the only information we have from Pridnestrove, Transnistria, is from the locals themselves, and from perhaps some peoples living in Ukraine in this area that take videos when they see the military and things like that. So yeah. So that's all for this video. It's just a summary of what's happening right now. I will post just after this video the geolocations, okay? So to avoid making a video that's too long to watch, because as you can see, there is a lot of geolocations. Thanks for watching and have a nice day. Goodbye.